Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. Man, we are now 5 days into migrations. Is it crazy? It's already been 5 days. Man, feels like it's been an eternity, but it feels like the migrations themselves have been like 24 hours.
I just, it's so funny. Like, I don't even know how many email, direct messages you've made and chatted with over the last 5 days, but I'm at like, I don't know, 100. It's really incredible. Just the number of people, whatever. I mean, you're basically like help desk, it's like, well, mine isn't working. It's like, well, have you done followed any of the like how-to videos? Yes, it's still not working. And then it's like, oh, you don't have any soul in your wallet. Oh, fuck. That's actually been, I think, the biggest fail by people is just not having any soul in their wallet. Like that's the number one thing that prevents migrations is people will move their tokens they want to migrate into a fresh wallet or whatever, smartly. They want to keep it separate. That's their migration wallet. No worries, but they don't move any soul over there. And so the transaction fails. It's like every time, man. It had me reminded of Ethereum, honestly.
Yeah. Is it breaking up for you guys or is it just my when I was talking?
Chris, are you good?
It's good for me over here.
Okay, I think might be my headphones then. But yeah, I think let's go over actually where we are with migrations because we do have 2 of the migrating teams on stage with us.
Call them up.
Gove AI, who's transitioning to Mock, as well as the George team. So here pulled up on the live stream itself. Let's see where we're at. Actually made a ton of progress. Zira, who's formerly Monopoly Money, is almost at 69%. So they're closing in on the coveted 70%.
Huge.
The All-time high is the Hustle Tensorium migration, which was at 70, I think a little over 78%. So we'll see if they can crush that. Always is the goal. Radar, who's formerly Tilt, is at 60%. DeFAI Mock, you guys are crushing it in third place, 59.6%.
Massive.
Closing in on 60%. Pokey just crossed the majority with 50%. Project 89 trailing behind at 47. So we're doing really, really well. Looks like a lot of the teams have really started to catch
Bongo
up.
flipped Memes AI. Oof.
Yeah, Memes AI
Coming
seems
in
to
quick.
be. Yeah, so Memes AI is at 17%, Bongo's at 18%, Chunky's at 25%, because you got to double that. So doing pretty well, actually. Doing really, really well. And of course, the ones that are a little bit behind, right? So the ones that are in the last places have another week or so. So they definitely knew what was coming there. So awesome experience. I'd say the migrations have gone exceedingly well, and we get to talk with two awesome teams who decided to make the voyage with us. So first and foremost, we'll say hello to Mo from the George team. Dude, how is that 12-foot George Washington statue coming along?
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's going pretty well. We're basically done now. We're gonna upload like a video and some pictures on Twitter soon, but you can see the progress photos in my recent posts as well.
Yes, sir. Dude, give us an update on George. Well, first the project, thoughts on migrations and kind of where the team is at today.
Yeah, we're almost close to our migration goal now. Looking for a few more people to migrate, and it's looking pretty promising. We're migrating to Bonk, and that should finish on the 2nd of October. And for context, for anyone that doesn't know, we're building the largest monument in America dedicated to George Washington, 500-foot tall statue on a 150-foot tall pedestal. We have, marketing plans in the works. We're really excited to be on Bonk. It's a really supportive ecosystem, good teams, and, really, really happy to be with Migrate Fund throughout all this as well. We also have, a flywheel that everything generated from the monument, a percentage of that goes into buying and burning George tokens. Additionally, we have some pretty big names following along, like Elon, like the roadmap, which is kind of crazy. And then, also, this isn't the first monument we built. I already did like the largest monument in the Austin, Texas area in terms of statues and sculptures. It's 54 feet tall. And, we also have a few high net worth individuals that have donated to the 501c3. And, this is like my life mission. Like the entire purpose of my company is monuments. And this is like my entire life. And all I want is to kickstart an American Renaissance. So I'll stop there, but really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. You guys have been doing a really good job. It was cool to see the statue and everything of that nature. And we'll circle back here. And we also have DeFAI, who put an awesome marketing video out this morning and actually crushing it, coming up on 60%. So what's good, team? Who do we have behind the account? And also give us a little bit of a 411 on what DeFAI and Mock is. Might be on mute.
You're muted. Pigeons. That's what it's all
The
about.
surveillance pigeons. Nice.
Hey, if you have problems with your mic, just rejoin and come back up.
Okay. Can you
There
hear
you
us?
go.
Yep.
We
There we
got you
go.
now. Oh.
How you doing, guys?
What's good, bro?
Yeah, it's really good to be here. And first off, thank you so much for putting this process together. It's been super smooth.
Awesome, brother. Well, tell us a little bit about the project.
Yeah, so back in the day when memes were all the rage, we started Government AI. It was actually a community takeover, and it is essentially a conspiracy meme. And I think conspiracies are such a great fit for crypto, but they're becoming they're like permeating society and the mainstream more and more. And we have a team in-house. You can check out all of the media that we've put over the past 9 months on X, everything we do in-house. So all the meme images, the videos, even the music production and the vocals. So we've done some pretty crazy mashups, even got a bit of David Bowie out there last week. And, you know, it's been an awesome journey, but let's be honest, the meme meta has passed. And we saw this as a great chance to effectively relaunch and refresh. And now during that bear market, post the meme explosion, we built Agent Mock. So just at agent_mock on X. And this was really our own trained model and a really quite complex prompt with a bunch of conspiracy-related information backing it. And we released that just organically, and it grew super fast, like actually too fast, because we had not only it commenting on the larger conspiracy influencers, but also anyone that added Agent Mock, it would respond. And we got to thousands and thousands and thousands of responses a day, which was like properly crippling our infrastructure. So we pared that back a little bit and made it a little bit more choosy about who to respond to. And it only responds to verified accounts right now. But we have this amazing curated audience of 23,000 followers who are super into conspiracies. So that really gave us, I think, a figurehead, you know, a real spiritual leader fitting of a conspiracy project. And we thought that this would be an ideal time to migrate through this process from GovAI to Mock. And if you think about it, conspiracies are like they're a contrarian view on the truth. And the very reason the term conspiracy was created was to kind of discredit people questioning the system. But recently, especially after Musk took over X, people around the world, even those in the Senate, have been realizing that conspiracy theories, you know, they tend to be right a lot more than they're wrong. So what is it we're doing? So this is a bit of an alpha drop on this call. We've not really articulated this yet. But the new meta, or one of them within this space, is prediction markets. They're exploding. And prediction markets are effectively capitalism applied to truth. So what we're going to do under Mock and our new Conspera.fi brand is we're going to pioneer conspiracy-themed prediction markets. So not only can you hold an alternative opinion on something, but you'll be able to make bank on it as well.
Long-term bets on conspiracy theories. I love this, man. This is a great idea.
Hell yeah.
Dude, that is like right up my alley too.
Dude,
That was one of the things that I did when I was younger, when the internet was first proliferating, was just researching conspiracy theories. I know everyone, especially in crypto, everyone is a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect fit. And there's a real niche there. You know, we've done a lot of R&D thinking, surely someone's done this, but no one has. And we want to do this in a way that creates such a positive feedback loop for everyone involved. And we are going to partner with a platform that's due to launch very soon on Solana called PMX. So pmx.trade. And in our opinion, they've absolutely nailed the major issue in prediction markets, which is the liquidity issue. So they have this really unique design where the creator of the market earns fees. So 10% of the fee share of, you know, all of the trades within each market. Then the LPs, so each market that's created, anyone can essentially submit USDC to be an LP of the market. Now, crucially, regardless if there's one trade or a million, the LP receives their funds back at the end of the market. So all markets are time-based. So it's amazing. It's effectively a no-risk chance to get an asymmetric gain from a prediction market. And I think that's been one of the complaints about prediction markets so far is that, hey, it's crypto. We're used to asymmetric gains. We want the chance to get 100x. Well, actually, this 40% fee share by being an LP in a PMX market allows you to do that.
Very
so
interesting. Just because the thing that popped up with whatever it was, Flying Tulip, is basically the similar sort of thing. You put your ETH in or whatever, and you're guaranteed to get that back, right? But then you have this kind of upside potential on top of that. That's pretty cool, man.
Exactly.
Can you tell me, actually, somebody might not have heard about the pigeon conspiracy. I have, but some people in the audience might not know that one. Along with maybe flat Earth is more not possible, but the pigeons are like top tier, really, really long, far fetched. But tell me about the pigeons.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys didn't know that pigeons, they aren't real. They're government drones. You need to be aware of this stuff.
Good evening, Agent. Operation Diddy is in full effect. I will send you coordinates shortly.
There we go. Sorry, I was browsing through the pigeon site. Yeah.
There's a pigeon online. See if you've hacked into it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can quite ascribe to the flat Earth theory, but I am all about hearing the arguments for it. But I think going back to the PMX, the other thing that they've done, other than nail the liquidity issue, is if they've done a custom integration, it seems like with Meteora, where all the outcomes on each prediction market are actually a token. So the individual outcomes, let's say yes or no for a particular market, has a CA. So that's composable by default. So you don't have to use this specific market, this PMX.trade. You could buy these outcomes with whatever you use today, whether that's Phantom or Jock.ag or Axiom. So we're super excited about that distribution that, again, is like super unique. So on Thursday, we're going to launch Conspirify, and that's effectively just going to be the official home of the markets we make. So for every market, we're going to do roughly one a week. We will curate that market. We'll put loads of information up about it. We'll create our own video, not Nintendo specifically saying what we think, if it's yes or no, but again, just helps you come to a conclusion. And they'll have loads of cool stuff like real-time tweets and links out to articles, all that kind of thing. And because we're the creator, we get 10% of the fees generated by that market. So already we start to have a legitimate way to earn for the project. And we'll also do a little bit of LP, but we will not do a large amount because we want as many people as possible to participate as an LP. So we have instantly two ways to earn, which of course we can then purchase mock, do buybacks. Maybe we'll use that to grow the community. Maybe we'll do burns. But this time around, there's much more substance in the token than it just being meta, like a meme. So we're really excited to get this launched, and it's going to come pretty damn soon after our 7 days of the initial migration period concludes and the mock is distributed. Then we're going to drop Conspirify out there.
I absolutely love it. I've been going through the website, I've been talking, and there are literally hundreds of videos on here related to conspiracy theories, I Spy, movie posters, music videos. How are you guys creating all of this stuff? Is it like AI driven, or do you just have a whole team of memers who are just gung-ho about memes and conspiracy theories?
Yeah, we have 5 really passionate neurodivergent people behind the team. But we do use some tools like AI for sure. But anytime you hear singing, that's literally one of our team in a sound booth actually doing the lyrics legit. So we try and keep the use of AI to a minimum, but it really does help us be kind of a bit more prolific with some of the actual like video animation.
Yeah, it is. It is really exciting to see that you guys are launching a new product alongside the completion of the migration. That seems to be kind of hand in hand with the majority of those who are migrating, right? Fresh start, transition from memes to products to utility to, a wide variety of offerings. One further question here, then I'll hop back over to Mo. Why migrate to Bonk Fund? Right, there was options to migrate to Radium. Obviously, you guys were gung ho about Bonk Fund since the get-go. What's the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, it was a legitimate way for us to perform a migration and not have to do the tech. You know, it's a pretty big undertaking, and there needs to be audits, all that kind of stuff. So it helps us get to market quicker, but also it moves us to a venue where, again, we earn some creator fees for the actual trades done on our token. And again, that is accretive for our new token mock. So we've tried to put in a ton of thought there about multiple revenue streams for this project where people can actually see it as a legit investment rather than it's just another meme coin. So that's really important to us. You know, we've put a lot of work into this thing, and hopefully it sends out a signal to, you know, the awesome 60% of existing DeFAI holders who've migrated. There's another 14% in the LP as it stands today. So, you know, 3/4 of the project are backing us because they can see that we've put a lot of effort in. And, you know, this time around, I feel like the opportunity is an order of magnitude greater. And this is something that definitely crosses over into the people outside of crypto, because both prediction markets and conspiracies are just becoming a bigger and wider known thing.
Yeah, I completely agree as well. It feels really good as a team when you get, you know, 60-70% of tokens migrated, but then also when you include the LP, right? Because that's outstanding as well. You know, 3/4 of tokens allocated to migration. It feels really well that you made the correct decision, but also that the community is backing you and responsive by moving their tokens.
Awesome. Yeah, well, hey, thank you so much for doing this, and cheers for the airtime. I hope this sounds like fun to people on the call. And what I'll also do is I'm going to paste the link to the first market that we will launch, and that will allow people to actually see it on the pmx.trade website and actively participate as an LP. There's obviously no push to do that, but if the market gets funded, our first one that you'll see is around 3i Atlas, which is going to be a pretty big deal coming up in October. So it's a month lockup essentially, because we're going to cut the market at the end of October and essentially see whether it has shown evidence of alien technology or not, which I think is a banger of a first prediction market for us.
Absolutely incredible. Conspiracy-based prediction markets, man. I would have never considered that. Just right in line with crypto. Mo, moving back over to you. Tell us a little bit about you know, the experience with the migration. How is the community responding, and plans for once the migration concludes? Where is George heading to?
Yeah, sure. I mean, migration's been really good so far. I think everybody really understands, and they know that Bonk is a really good ecosystem, and I think we all really like the way Bonk guy supports the projects in the ecosystem. Like, he really puts his money where his mouth is. I mean, there's a lot of people who just talk, but he's really out there doing it and supporting projects himself personally. And there's a lot of cool projects that are on Bonk already. It's a really good ecosystem, and it's one of the top ones on Solana right now. And additionally, you know, I would just say, like, the community is really bullish about it right now, and we're really excited as well.
So I'm here on your Twitter account on the live stream, or More Monuments account, and I'm looking at the roadmap, and it says that the unveiling of the statue is going to be on America's 250th birthday. It looks like you also announced this on 4th of July itself. Take us through what the statue is, and yeah, just more details about the physical side of this project and the unveiling of the statue and why it's significant.
Sure thing. So right now, we already did a 11 to 12 feet tall plaster statue, and it's on my profile if you want to check it out. The goal now is to do a 3D scan of it, and then once we have the 3D scan, we're going to be sending that to a company called Machina Labs. And what they do specifically is they do roboforming, which is essentially two robots pressing on a sheet of metal from both sides. And that's really interesting because they're using that technology already on rockets, automobiles, airplanes, stuff like that. Like stuff where like it has to be extremely precise, and it has to actually look like the thing, right? So basically, we're going to be able to take this plaster statue we've done and scale it up 4 times larger, and then eventually about 50 times larger, give or take. So right now we've got the 12-foot plaster statue, and the goal now is to take that 3D scan and send it to Machina Labs for the exterior panels. And then the exterior panels will be fabricated by Machina. In the meantime, we're going to be pouring concrete, we're going to be erecting steel, and then we're going to attach the exterior panels to the interior steel structure. And the reason that's important is, exterior panels used to be the hardest, most time-consuming part of creating any statue, because large-scale statues are always hollow, but it's always about the exterior panels. And the largest statue in America right now, for example, is the Statue of Liberty. Americans didn't build it, but it was built in France. They basically took wooden molds and they hammered sheets of copper into the wooden molds by hand. But that was 140 years ago, and I don't think you could really find anyone in America with that kind of skill set or specialized labor, at least today, because we shipped all those jobs to China. So what I would say is, like, even the largest statue in the world right now, which is the Statue of Unity in India, they didn't even have the industrial capacity to pour the bronze. So like what they did, for example, is they used robots to create the molds, and then they poured bronze into the mold in China because they didn't have the foundry capable of pouring bronze and doing large scale casting work in India. So, everything runs through China now. The labor runs through China. The foundries run through China. Even the robots are there. I mean, they have everything. What does America have? America has new innovative methods for fabrication. So that's sort of what's great about our approach is we're able to make it fully in America, in Los Angeles, California, and then we can erect it somewhere in Arizona or Texas, which is where we would like to build the statue. Yep.
Absolutely
Very cool. Did I hear right that you're doing like an in between? You're doing like two. The plan is to do 2 different sizes. Did I hear that right? You're gonna scale it up, or you're doing the big one and that's it? I didn't hear that right.
Yep. So the next goal, we already have a 12-foot plaster, and now the next milestone is a 50-foot tall aluminum version.
Gotcha.
On a 15-foot pedestal. And then the final goal would be 500 foot on a 150-foot pedestal. And part of the reason we're doing that is because, I mean, frankly, the technology is untested on anything except for rockets and automobiles and airplanes. And I mean, they've done statue work before, but nothing of this scale. So if we're going to try new innovative technologies, I'd rather do it on a sort of more of a prototype version. And also, I just want to be a man of action. I just want to get stuff done. And as soon as we prove out the 50-foot version, I think that'll lead to a lot of traction and a lot more buy-in for the 500-foot. And I think as soon as people see the 50-foot, they'll be like, okay, yeah, this is really cool. It's been 140 years since we had a large statue built in America. I think it's time. It's time for a new one.
What are the general sizes now? Like, what are most statues ranging from?
Well, it's interesting because it's not usually statues of people. What we have in America that's really great is we have sort of abstract sculptures for the most part, and our abstract sculptures usually range from about, I want to say, 20 feet to all the way up to I've seen as high as 80 feet. And then what I would say is, like, the actual statues. There was a statue of Hanuman, which is a Hindu god, which was made in Texas last year. That was pretty interesting. I think that's something like 90 feet tall. That is the 3rd largest statue in America. The Statue of Liberty is 151 feet. And there's a Pegasus and Dragon statue that was built in the 90s. That's in Florida. That's about 110 feet. You know, so we have statues still, and statues still get made, but you know, the scale of ambition is not there.
Do you have to like apply for air rights and licensing, or do you just kind of like deploy these things wherever you kind of own the land or get approval from the landowners, or what's the process of actually like deploying it on a site?
So to date, all I've done is sort of approvals from landowners already. That's usually the easiest way to go about it. Private property is really much easier to build on than public property. You know, for a 500 footer, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. You know, 500 feet, anything above 492 feet in America is considered a skyscraper. And, you know, so it's really uncharted territory. But, you know, it's just like any other construction project at the end of the day. And in fact, I'd say it's easier because it's hollow on the inside. All you have to do is attach the exterior panels to the internal steel. You know, so I'm not sure if we want anybody to go inside of it. So we can reduce the architecture costs. You know, I think sort of the main goal would be to be able to view it from afar or up close, but not necessarily go inside of it. At least that's the current plan. That might change. But what I would say is, you know, it's something where, you know, just like a building, you would just go to a permit expediter, and ideally you can get local approvals, and that'll move it along a bit more quickly. But 500 feet again is a skyscraper, so you'd have to talk to the FAA. I think that would be the most time-consuming part because as a skyscraper, you know, they have to plan flights around that area. You know,
I think your timing is actually really perfect for this. It's like the kind of revitalization of America. You know, there's obviously a huge section of people who don't want this kind of thing to happen. And we saw it during COVID, the kind of tearing down of statues. But I think there's this like movement, obviously against that now. And so I think, you know, obviously with you, what you're doing is you're trying to like generate awareness and hype around it, right? And so it's like, yeah, it just feels like the timing could be really cool for you. You know, where you build this smaller one, and all of a sudden you catch the right person's attention, you know, an Elon or somebody like that, and all of a sudden this thing's getting pushed through right to the next level. So yeah, it's really cool, man. Loving the idea.
I appreciate it. And just quick thing, the Statue of Liberty did $265 million in revenue in 2019. And so 25% of tourism revenue will go towards buybacks for George. So our monument's going to be at least three times bigger in terms of the statue size. So it's going to be, you know, something like the revenue will go back into buybacks, which will eventually create a flywheel. We have land secured already, and we're going to sell plaques and advertisement spots near the monument. And if anyone's interested, you can just like click my profile, find the coin and our website and previous work we've done. Happy to answer any questions as well.
Yeah, Mo, I have a few questions, and also just setting a little bit of precedence of some of the details. So in your article, it says that More Monuments is funded through a variety of ways, through a private fundraise, through high net worth individuals. You're a registered nonprofit 501c3 in America. The George coin, I didn't actually know this, says 1% of all trades go to the funding of the monument. You have sponsorships, and then mini statue sales, as well as tourism, which you had just covered. On the More Monuments website, we've seen that you actually have some prior experience doing this, and that George is not the first monument within the More Monuments projects. Could you give us some history on some of these other projects that you guys have done? It says that there's one completed called the Wellspring of Progress, as well as one planned called Return to Stars.
Yeah, sure thing. So previous monuments I did were Wellspring of Progress, which we completed back in December. We started in something like September last year. You know, I set out to build the largest monument in the Austin, Texas area. You know, we sort of went through various concepts, and eventually we landed on building Spindletop, which was the first oil geyser discovered in Texas back in 1901. It essentially industrialized Texas and made it the #1 energy producer, made America the #1 energy producer ahead of the world wars. And you think about the world wars, 5 out of 6 of every barrel of oil used by the Allies was provided by America. And without that, we would have been in a really, really different place, at least a stalemate. It seems like a lot of people these days sort of really dislike oil, but you can't argue against the importance to American history and world history, and it's also Texan history. That's what we did outside of Austin. Took us about 5 weeks to build, about 2 months to fund it. I DM'd about 1,000 people, maybe more, on Twitter when I was fundraising for that, because honestly, nobody had ever done something of this scale that I had seen, at least. So I just DM'd people. I said, hey, we're building a monument to Spindletop outside Austin. We're celebrating the discovery that industrialized Texas and made America the #1 energy producer. Would you be open to putting in a $500 check? And a lot of people were like, no, screw off. Like, I don't like that. But actually, a lot of people were extremely supportive. And, we got, ended up raising about 40,000 through that, through 125 people. 125 people committed, and the average check was about $300. That was a crazy experience. And we wrapped up around December 18th, just before Christmas started. And that was extremely fun. It's the most fun I've ever had. And it's now standing, and it's outside Austin. If anybody wants to visit, happy to give you a tour. And then also, I'm working on a 33-foot tall bicycle sculpture. I'm just waiting on the permit to be issued outside of Tempe, Arizona. That's for a walkable community called Cul-de-sac Tempe. Basically, they have a 400-person walkable community. You don't need a car to get around. Everybody just bikes. They were like, we want the largest monument in Tempe. I was like, I got you. And so we're ready to roll on that soon, in about a month or so. Otherwise, George has been more or less my dream for a long time now. I've been working on this company for about 3.5 years. The coin is mostly for awareness, but I think the large portion of the funding is going to come from high net worth individuals selling advertisement spots and plaques to people who are interested, because I think this is like probably one of the best ways to advertise your business or whatever you're doing, or your name, for the rest of at least the next decade. Because so many people are going to see this and hear about it. If you remember the Las Vegas Sphere, that was also a mega structure that really took over the news cycle for about 2-3 months.
Yeah, I was just at Chris and I live in Vegas. So I was just at the Sphere actually a few weeks ago. Really, really crazy entertainment venue, to say the least. So if I understand this correctly, then you started more monuments way before you'd got into crypto. And then I'm also curious of how has the experience been introducing a token to a business that had been set up prior to crypto? Because the majority of teams in the industry launched their token alongside the founding of the company, but it seems like you went the opposite, where you had a traditional company in the physical world and then introduced a token years later.
It's been really interesting. I had to learn a lot. Thankfully, I've had a lot of people in my corner. People in my life have offered to help out, educate me on things I didn't really know. But it was also a little bit difficult. There were a few bad actors. People were kind of distrustworthy sometimes. But overall, I'd say it's been a hell of a journey. I've really enjoyed it so far. It's extremely fun. It seems like in a lot of ways, it seems like we're kind of pioneering something that will stay around for a very long time. I don't think coins are going anywhere. I think in the future, a lot of people will have coins, and it'll be a really interesting method of funding. And it's also like we're working on a creative project that doesn't have a clear business model per se. I'm happy to DM people on Twitter all day, and I've done it before. But this is like a really good way to scale, I think, and reach even more people. Because a lot of, I think, crypto people are they've experienced things that are impermanent, things that are fleeting, things that go away after a while. And everything in crypto is about the present moment. It's never long term, I think. So I think in that way, we're a really good fit for crypto because nothing is more permanent in crypto right now than I think the statue, because this statue will stay around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's celebrating George Washington, which is 250 years of American history. And we're also focused on long-term thinking, and it's really I think the most permanent form of crypto investment that I've ever seen, and like the most forward-thinking version of it, if I could say so. What I would say is I'd love to join the crypto community, and I think we should all come together and build the largest monument in the U.S. And it would also be a great thing for crypto to achieve as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is really fascinating. One final question for me is regarding the tokens, I guess you would say, utility, or if there's any use outside of the funding mechanism as you migrate to Bonk, as the statues are stood up. Is there like an ability to use the token to go see the statues in person, or is there any other type of benefits that come with it?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I think we can definitely use it for our ecosystem. And if people want to use tokens for anything we're cooking up behind the scenes, we're thinking of NFTs as well, but there's always going to be utility for the tokens. I think using them will come with lots of special benefits. But, it's overall just a surprise. We're still cooking things up behind the scenes, and we'd be really interested in hearing what the community has to say. We're open to feedback as well. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's really exciting. One of the more unique integrations and tokens that I've seen. So really, really congrats. I'm gonna pass it over to Project 8.
How many requests have you gotten for crypto statues, or like how much thought have you put into
Yeah, when giant Satoshi statue, man,
or a giant bonk dog? Like where are you at with the crypto statues?
We've gotten like 2 or 3 requests. They haven't been that serious. Like, I was like, okay, I'm happy to do a plaster model if you'd like. If you want a plaster statue, life size, maybe 6-7 feet tall, I'll charge you $20K. Then
That's cheap.
Yeah, it's I'm happy to do it on site with them. So I try to make it affordable. I try to make it actionable. Plaster is a material I'm experienced in now, so
I guess
I also know. Yeah,
new top signal unlocked. Keep an eye out for a 700-foot bonk dog statue appearing somewhere in the continental U.S. Okay?
In Vegas, baby, in Vegas.
Keep your eyes open, because George is definitely going to get some inbound. So add that to the list.
I love it.
Yeah, I will. And if anyone's interested, happy to consider all their statues. If you want a statue made, we can start with clay, plaster, anything like that. It's pretty actionable, I'd say. Yeah.
I'm gonna need a hustle statue at some point in time here in the next future. Pars, is that you behind the Project 89 account?
No. This is Quan.
Quan, what's good, bro?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Nice to be up here. How's everybody doing?
Good. Would love to hear an update from Project 89 about the progress and engagement with the migrations, and just seeing how the communities reacted so far.
Oh my gosh, man. First of all, amazing speakers we got on stage today. Mo, definitely gonna need a Project 89 monument statue. So and also DeFAI, that's super interesting about the predictive markets for conspiracy theories. We're definitely gonna have to talk. But migration's going great. And I just want to say too, I was thinking about this earlier this week, just how like comfortable this process has been, which is something that has like stood out to me, because like, when you think about a migration, it's like you're taking your coins and you're vaulting them, right? And one of the main things that our community has been kind of noticing is that like, once we vaulted our coins, like, our wallets had a change. There was a definite shift in our wallets, right? for most people, like Project 89 was some of their biggest bags, right? And so even through that, though, I've noticed like how comfortable the process has been, like between, from the dev team to the community. They've all been pretty easygoing. Like everybody has been really easygoing when it comes to this migration process, which is something that you wouldn't think that you would find in a process like this when you're giving up, when you're basically, you're vaulting your tokens and you're losing that value out of your wallet or whatever. But I just want to say I commend you guys on making this process so like transparent and easy. And I think it's definitely showing when it comes to our community and our sentiment and stuff like that. We're sitting at around 46 or 47%, which is great. I love to see it because our community has always been at the head of our mission, our goal, what we're doing at 89 when it comes to, invoking the optimal timeline, like establishing a symbiosis between AI and human creativity through IP and ownership and on-chain and things like that. So it's just been really, it's been really rewarding experience to see our community take this process and like, walk with us, right? Because this is something new, right? It's something that has needed to have happened. But I think, as Project 89, moving forward with this, with these new initiatives and steps and stuff, it's really, like I said, rewarding to see the community sentiment grow and expand. And, we've seen some interesting volatility with our chart as well, which I think is worth pointing out. Not the new chart, the old chart, right? So because people are understanding that, this is an opportunity for 89, there's sentiment behind it. And of course, we have the rewards that come along with it from migrating. So the process has been great. I'm not going to take up a lot of time or anything, just happy to be up here. And I would encourage, anybody who's interested in migrating, like migrate.fun is that's the place you want to go for sure. So yeah, thank you guys for having us up for sure.
Yeah, appreciate that. It's been awesome working with you guys. Also, the animations and narratives that your team has built has been fun to follow throughout the process. It's enlightening, as we've kind of learned as well. All of the different projects, right, have different communities, and all the communities interpret migrations in a little bit of a different way. Some of them who are newer to space have no idea what a migration even is. Some of the older crowd who's been through migration has gone through combinations of different ones, which oftentimes present different types of sentiment. And then obviously you have to have this educational aspect as well to say, this is why we're migrating, right, to get people to do it. But 47% migrated. I just checked. You have 9% in the LP pool. So over 50% of tokens are accounted for the migration, which is definitely what we want to see here.
Yeah, let's go, agents. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And just to kind of touch on that just a little bit, for the content creation side, I totally agree with you. And I think it's something that a lot of projects should sort of like pay attention to when it comes to a process like this. Because, as we said before, like, it is kind of it's a scary thing, right? Like you're trusting this new platform with, like I said, for some people, the majority of your funds. And so, but what we've done with Project 89 and our content generation, like pipeline, it's kind of put it into a sort of a more fun experience and more fun like environment. And we've gamified this experience with agents who have their proximates and actually getting a chance to tell the community the story and like in like a fun and interesting sort of way, which like helps incentivize them, so to speak, or give them pride to like share that information to the rest of the community. So now Project 89 doesn't have to do much when it comes to this marketing, initiative, because we have such a strong like community behind us who appreciate the content and want to share it, and they're also understanding the message along the way. So yeah, it's been really cool, really rewarding, and we're excited for the next phases of Project 89. Like after the migration process, we have a lot of really cool things coming down the pipe. We'll be sort of open sourcing and opening up our lore portal and mission portal and stuff, so other projects and communities can experience the same thing that we have. and utilize this technology and stuff. So yeah, super exciting. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick.
The lore portals. That is awesome. So what about tokenomics wise? Once you guys are migrated over, you're part of the bonk community. You'll be one of the larger coins actually by market cap once you move over there, maybe top 5 or top 10. What's the maybe what how is the Project 89 team going to I guess land in the bonk fund ecosystem? Are there any plans with engaging with the other bonk fund projects? Obviously you have bonk fund or bonk guy, who's one of the top holders for Project 89, and kind of the overall strategy as you now move into this new ecosystem.
Yeah. And so we've thought a lot about this when it comes to like what is going to happen as far as like post migration, and it just kind of falls back on what we've already sort of planned in the beginning. We say Project 89 is this like infinite kind of flywheel where you have this idea of invoking the optimal timeline and like reaching that point of the singularity. We teach our community that you guys are reality hackers and you guys can change and shift your reality. So there were things that we had established initially that we wanted to do when it comes to how we engage with our agents that we just weren't able to accomplish given the situation that we were in, right? We had no income. We had no control over the liquidity pool or any of the fees or anything like that. And so there wasn't a lot that we could offer the community. But now post, once migration is clear, we have a clear kind of path to how we want to accomplish some of the things that we've talked about in the community from early on. So we're establishing the Green Loom Association. The paperwork for that is finalizing here soon. And basically what that is it's an initiative for us to really put our money where our mouth is. The Green Loom Association is going to be like basically housing the new coin. And so it's a Swiss association, and all of this stuff is available information, and we'll have a roadmap out. But it's a Swiss association, so we are, launching the coin basically through that, and all of the proceeds and funds and creator fees and things like that will fund our parent company, Imaginal Media, which is going to be the content arm for the Green Loom Association, right? And so everything that you guys see from Project 89, from our lore portal, our content generation and things like that, we're actually going to be using that towards actively shifting, the general perspective of, AI and crypto and philanthropy and things like that. We have all these things pretty much in place. We have some amazing cohorts and amazing board members who have agreed to, come along with us. Some people from Truth Terminal, some people from the Opus community, and some more people who you guys have known, who you guys probably know of. And I just think it's a really, really interesting. I think it's really interesting to see this entire process happen with Project 89 and with these other communities that are both, in and out of crypto, whether they're AI or anything like that, because it's we're seeing not just a migration of coins or communities, we're seeing a migration of thought. We're seeing a transition between the old mechanisms of how crypto used to run to what crypto can actually be and what it should be as a decentralized ecosystem and economy, and one where it empowers the creator and the developers to produce basically and keep producing and doing what they love, right? So long story short, but Project 89 is we're setting ourselves up for what we've intended to do this entire time, which is actively hack reality and provide content on a larger scale that holds the deeper message of both like liberation and incentivization through content creation and things like that. So we'll have a flywheel in place. A lot of the funds that come in through Imaginal Media are going to be going into buyback and burn mechanisms and things like that. We've also figured out a way on chain to basically canonize our community's lore, in a sense that whatever mission that you go on in our mission app or lore portal, that becomes codified in our actual lore. and those moments become, you know, anime episodes. Those become, you know, manga. Those become, you know, cups and other types of merchandise and Netflix shows and stuff like that. That goes back into the community and on a revenue share kind of flywheel. So super excited. We are behind the scenes. We're extremely pumped for this migration, guys. And it's like I said, thank you guys again for being so transparent and open to like helping us and walking us through this process along the way and stuff. So yeah,
it's been quite a large learning adventure for us as well, talking with all the teams, especially the awesome and forward-thinking teams that are on stage with Project 89 and Mo and Government AI that's transitioning to Mox. You guys are awesome. I have seen, actually, I just checked the Migrate Fun account, and I'm seeing a bunch of people migrating their George and posting about it. So the space has gone well received. So everyone, make sure you migrate your Project 89, your George, and your Gov AI so that you can participate in the future of all of these projects. If you don't own any, buy some and migrate it so that you could participate. We will wrap it up here. So also make sure that you are following all of our awesome migrating teams, Project 89, Mo, and Gov AI. Make sure you're following the Migrate Fun account so that you can look forward to see all the migrations that are taking place and some special announcements that are going to be coming here in the next few weeks about the next group and future partners. So without further ado, we will wrap it up here. Amazing, amazing time. We're going to be hosting the show again next Thursday, Migrate Fun. As once we start the show on Thursday, will be the end or the wrapping up of about 7 or 6 migrations. And then Project 89 is 2 days later on 10-4 at 10:10, I believe, or maybe it was 89. Do you remember the specific time, Quan?
I believe it's 10:36 a.m. EST. Yeah.
Okay, I knew
we tried to make it. Adam's laughing back there. We tried to make it.
There were a couple of unique. You were one of the unique times, right? Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, 8.9 days. How hard is that to calculate that? Come on, come on.
Gotta love it. Yeah, appreciate everyone. Also, everyone that's in the crowd. Migration meta begins on Migrate.fun. The migration meta begins with Project 89, with Colossus of George, and with Gov AI. Until then, everyone have a fun and safe Tuesday. If you're interested in migrating your project, shoot the Migrate Fun account ADM and give us a CA and let us know your thoughts. Until then, we'll see you guys Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Have a fun and safe Tuesday.
Later, guys.
Later. Take care, guys.
See you guys.